Welcome back to the IndieFilm Insider podcast. My name is Owen, a DP and producer here with
Jake Rospel, a writer and director.
Today we're talking about some film terms that you might not know about. So this is our first podcast without a guest, so we're kind of just free rolling it here, just with us. We thought that there are a bunch of terms that you use on a film set that you probably wouldn't know about if you hadn't looked into them before or knew about them before. So we're just gonna go over about 30 of them from least obscure to most obscure and niche, and kind of go over them, define all of these terms, so that if you are going on a film set soon and you're kind of just starting off on the PA level, then you'll kind of know what some of these mean if they are said around you, and you're not like, what is that? And making you look like a noob.
Yeah, they're kind of used pretentiously, so.
Yeah, it's not the best.
Yeah.
A lot of these are kind of just like, yeah, I'm gonna describe that in a different way. I don't know. We're starting off with kind of the more intuitive ones and hopping on to the more like, what the hell is that? That's only used in a film set type of thing. So just so you don't get caught off guard. All right, want to go first?
Sure. So first up, we got it. Now, what does got it mean?
Just I have it.
Oh, okay. Well, I was confused. I was like, okay, got it. And was that some kind of secret meaning?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's mostly used when talking about like lens changes.
Okay.
When you're carrying around like expensive equipment, you really want to make sure that when you're handing something off to somebody else, that they have a good grasp on the equipment. I've seen people use it for like fucking water bottles.
Okay.
Which is like I remember one of our friends, the man who will not be named. I think you know who I'm talking about.
I think so.
I was like handing him like some stupid thing. Actually, no, I think we were doing a lens change like on Old Wounds, like in January of last year, on a film we did last year. And like I was trying to giving him a lens, and he was like, "Got it," because he went to film school, and neither of us did, so we weren't really taught this in the conventional way. And I'm like, "Bro, I know you have it. Shut up."
Yeah.
But like I can imagine that this is really important when you're dealing with like lenses that cost tens of thousands of dollars. It's just kind of secure. It's just kind of making sure that the person who you're giving something to knows that, okay, it's not going to fall, it's not going to break.
That's true. Because if you like don't use that verbal confirmation, it's like, who knows if they're actually fucking holding on.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Kind of like baseball too, when you're like, oh, I got it. Like when you're like, you call out when you're going to catch the ball. So that makes kind of sense.
Yeah. All right, next up we got flying in.
What is flying in?
Oh, am I
answering it? Well,
yeah, sure.
I actually don't know what that means. So.
Oh, really?
I mean, I can assume what it means, but
you're right. You're right.
So we're going to fly him in to film the shoot.
Yeah, like flying in is just another word for like on its way or coming.
Okay, that makes sense.
Like that's why kind of these are at the beginning of the list, because even if you don't know exactly what they are in film terms, it's like, okay, you can kind of assume.
Yeah, it's like intuitive.
So yeah, flying in is basically just like, hey, can I get a tripod over there? We actually don't use the word tripod because it's pretentious.
It's pretentious.
But
three-legged object.
Yeah, we'll get to that term later. Hey, can I get the tripod? And then you're like, okay, I'm on it. And then you go grab the tripod. And then you're like, hey, tripod flying in.
Okay, I see.
Yeah. Or like, hey, can you fly in that 6x reflector?
Yeah. This episode might be a lot of you mansplaining to me, because I don't know, like looking at the list here, it like looks kind of like I think I know what it is, some of them, and then some of them I'm like, oh, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, there are a couple of these like when I found during research that I didn't even know what they were.
Yeah.
Like I had heard them used before, but like I actually have no idea what it is. And one of them is like a pretty famous one that I actually I got the meaning of it wrong, and we'll get to that one later.
That's true.
Next up we got stinger.
Stinger.
What's a stinger? This is early on the list just because I thought people would know this from like normal speak.
Yeah. So I think I've heard that before outside of film. I believe a stinger is going to be the little plug thing, right? Is that what it is? Oh no, extension cord, extension cord. But like, you know what I mean? Like I guess that's why it's called a stinger, because of like you sting the plug into the wall.
I have no.
But yeah, it's an extension cord.
Yeah, a stinger is just an extension cord.
Yeah.
So if someone's like, hey, can you get a stinger? It's an extension cord.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know why it's called stinger. It might have something to do with like construction or something, but
or like electricity, because it stings you.
Maybe.
Not sure.
All right, next up.
Very interesting. And next up we have not stinger. Sorry, we have crossing.
Crossing, yeah. So crossing is just specifically in regards to the frame of the camera. So if you need to walk across the camera frame,
you're crossing the frame.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you announce that? So like, oh, I'm crossing.
Yeah.
I'm getting crossed.
Yeah.
On the set.
Hey, I'm gonna take some booze and
Fucking weed.
Not that kind of getting crossed.
I see.
Because generally it's bad form to cross a camera setup.
Okay.
Because like the DP or the gaffer or whoever needs to like make sure it's like ready for the next shot. You should generally avoid crossing the camera at all times. But
makes sense.
There are some times where you have to cross it, and you say crossing just to let people know that you're crossing it.
Interesting. What's the next term we got? We got points.
Points.
Oh, wait, was that going to be yours?
I have no idea.
Did I steal it?
We're just kind of riffing these off.
Just going.
I
mean, I guess I got points. I got points for acting good on set.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah. This one might be lower actually.
Oh, really?
It might be. Whatever.
In obscurity.
Maybe it's just like sharp object behind you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like
What the
literal.
fuck?
Like,
Okay.
I know a lot of these are obscure and dumb, but
Okay.
it's like if I have like if I'm carrying a C stand behind you, I'm just like, hey, points, just so you know, like not to make any sudden movements that we can back up and do.
See, if someone said that to me, I'd be like, oh fuck, where? And I'm like, fucking get stabbed, get fucking impaled.
Panic.
Interesting.
Yeah. So if you're crossing something that could be construed, it doesn't even have to be like actually sharp. It could just be like a C stand or a tripod or something that is like extended from your body.
Right.
It's not like points, but I would imagine you do the same thing when talking about like a frame, like for a reflector or something. It's not like sharp, but like it's just like when you are working in like a restaurant, whatever, you're like behind.
Yeah.
But this is like specifically telling you what is behind.
Yeah, because we've definitely had a few times on set where like I am sort of like, you know, walking around the set and then like out of nowhere there's a fucking like C stand extended right above me, and so I'm like whoa, and I had to like duck underneath it. So
yeah,
definitely can see where that's useful.
Yeah, and like a lot of these are kind of just like communication.
Yeah,
just like making sure that people know what's going on. That's why it's like, when you say like behind, that's like kind of obscure. Like what really is it? But like point is like, okay, there is something that could be dangerous if you don't know if you're not expecting it behind you.
Interesting. Well,
but yeah. Anyways, next up we got off speed.
Off speed.
Do you know what off speed is?
I'm gonna say when you turn the camera off or when you stop recording.
No.
No, when the camera is not recording.
No.
Okay, what is off speed?
It's a frame rate that's not 24 FPS.
Oh, so now. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so this is, I guess it's kind of misleading if I don't tell you it's specifically in regard to camera or camera settings. But if you are saying, if the DP tells the first AC, hey, we're going to go off speed for this next shot. Okay. That means either we're going to be recording in like 60 FPS, 50 FPS, 48, whatever the frame rate adjustment is.
So not just actual frame rate, not shutter speed. So or in shutter angle. So if we're doing like a cool like choppy sequence, but we're still filming in 24, that wouldn't be off speed?
No.
Okay.
Off speed is just abnormal frame rate.
Okay. Interesting.
Normal being 24 or 23,976.
Right. The pretentious number that they decided.
I mean, if you really want to do it, do you know why it's 23.976?
Because when they were introduced it to color, they had to like reduce it by 1, because it's 1% lower. I know it's 1%, I believe, mathematically. If you like equate it, it's like a 1% difference, I believe. Yeah. But it was because they had to fill in for color information.
It's because of TV and broadcast.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. And now people just use that. But like, if you're doing
it's so dumb now though to keep it. It's like completely just tradition at this point. Like, there's no reason why these cameras that we're shooting with right now are shooting at 23 fucking .976. Yeah. It should be 24, and they can do 24 because the other setting you can make it do 24.0.
It's a lot of like, even like a camera not having shutter angle is a pure software limitation.
Yeah,
and like because these we're shooting on an FX3 and an FX30. When they came out, they didn't let us do 1/48, and that is pure software limitation.
Yeah,
it's like same thing with like if these can do 120 FPS, they could do 24. Instead of 23,976.
No, yeah, for sure. It's just pretentious. Like they don't want to put in the slight extra work in typing in on a keyboard to fix it.
Basically. All right, next up.
Next up, oh my gosh, I'm fucking way off. Okay, we have Apple Box.
Apple Box. I actually have one. Look at me.
Oh.
It's just a box. I have no idea why it's called Apple Box.
Very
cool. But it's a, 1 foot by 2 foot by 1 foot, maybe? I don't know.
Oh, I see. Maybe.
I don't know the actual dimensions. This looks like a foot. Maybe a little less. Or maybe a little more. Whatever. It's just a literal box. And
it's an unknown dimension box.
Yeah. An abstractly big box.
Well, that's actually important, though, because there is some types where you can have, like, multiple, right? Like, it has, like, smaller versions within itself.
Yeah. So this one, I don't have the actual smaller versions, but this is a full-sized Apple Box. And then there are 3 other different sizes, and they all have to do with, if you're watching, you can see me explain this. But if you're listening, I guess just Google it. There's 3 other sizes. There's a half-size Apple Box, which is just half the height of this. There's a quarter-sized Apple Box, which is a quarter height of this. And then there's it's 1/8 size, but you call it a pancake.
Interesting.
So those are just various heights. Like, they all have the same width here, and they all have the same length, but they're just different height-wise. And if someone says, "Hey, can you give me a pancake?" They don't want a pancake from IHOP or whatever. They want a 1/8 sized Apple Box.
Very interesting.
Same way if they want a half apple, they want a quarter apple, whatever that would be. They want that size of an Apple Box.
Well, thank God the terms for the Apple Boxes don't get more confusing beyond that. Thank God there's nothing else about, like, the position of it or anything.
Yeah, we'll get to that later.
Is that later?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
I have that last, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know if it's actually last, but anyways.
One of the more later ones.
Next up, if you don't know this one, I swear to God, it's Crafty or Craft Services.
Crafty or craft services. So that's going to be when you have the food provided for the crew and cast.
Yeah.
Basically.
It's just food.
It's just food, yeah.
Yeah, so if someone's like, "Hey, where's Crafty?" They're not looking for, like, someone doing arts and crafts.
Right. Or Kraft mac and cheese. It's going to be about
This is with a C.
Yeah, exactly. Very, very simple, very straightforward. Just it's food. If you're hungry on a film set, say, "I want Crafty."
Basically.
Don't say, "I want food." They'll look at you and they'll shoot you in the head.
They'll
Probably.
punch you in your stupid fucking face.
Yeah, because you don't
for
know
not knowing these terms.
Yeah, if you don't know these terms, you better know them now, because if you say any of these terms not correctly, you're gonna get killed. You're gonna get killed.
Yeah.
There's no easy way to say that.
All right.
Next we got sticks.
Sticks.
Sticks
is. I actually didn't know this one for a while.
Yeah.
It's a fancy. I don't know if it's fancy. It's a tripod. I don't know why they call them sticks instead of tripods. Probably some antiquated thing from, like, the 1940s.
I mean, they're kind of sticky.
I mean, yeah, it's like 3 sticks essentially.
Yeah, basically.
But, like, a lot of the times you'll hear, like, "Can we get the camera on sticks?" Or
is a monopod a branch? Trunk?
Maybe. I don't. Maybe.
Who knows?
What would trunk be like?
Fucking really thick. Massively thick fucking monopod.
I don't know.
I mean, your tripod kind of is like a monopod when you, like, collapse it, because it can stand with all the legs inward. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just like sticks. Hey, can I get the sticks? They're looking to get the tripod.
Interesting.
You should know this one's striking.
Striking, yes. We have known this one probably one of the. I think we learned this, like, kind of like Old Wounds-ish time.
Probably, yeah.
I think around then. Anyway, yeah, striking, it's when you're turning off the lights. Or no, turning on the lights, sorry.
There we go.
When you're turning the lights on. There's a different term for that other one. But when you're turning the lights on, you want to say striking so that people on the set aren't like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" You know, because you don't want to. That's another thing, too, is you don't want to get your actors and your crew, like, thrown off. So it's just important to say striking.
Yeah. It's another communication tool.
Yeah, it's just saying, "Hey, I'm turning the lights on."
Yeah, because a lot of times, especially with really powerful lights,
like
a 1200 or a 600 or something, if you don't say striking and someone's looking in that general direction, they could, like, become, like, get blind for a couple seconds.
Right, and if they're holding, like, a C-stand or holding, like, something heavy, it's like sandbags, like, "Oh fuck," and
it's like
land on
like a fucking flashbang.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Next one.
Next one we got saving and cutting.
Yeah, so this is turning off the lights.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's actually, like, proper terminology for this, because, like, I hear it like different terms in different places. Some people say striking for cutting the lights too. This one is less used or less well known because it doesn't really matter. The only time it would really matter, I guess, if someone is setting up a shot and they need the lights there, but like I don't know why the fuck you would turn those off then.
Right.
Yeah, like striking is the really important one because that could actually like fuck something up if you don't say it. But like if you're turning off a light, you say saving or cutting to let people know. I've heard people say striking again.
That's kind of confusing.
Yeah, I don't know why people do that, but I say cutting.
Yeah.
Whatever. Now we're gonna go on a little mini segment.
Side quest.
Yeah, we're entering a side quest with a little bit of walkie-talkie lingo.
Ooh.
I don't know why we use these terms. Probably just to speed things up. I have 4 of them here. 4 of the most common ones you'll hear on a walkie-talkie. Some of these, the first one you'll probably definitely know. 2 and 3 maybe. I did not know about this 4th one until I started doing research for this video. And I don't actually know why we use these. I'm assuming it's probably just speed because we used walkie-talkies for the first time on one of our sets. Normally only one walkie can transmit at a time.
That's true.
So you only, because like when you're on a phone call, you can like talk and the other person can hear you while they're talking to you like simultaneously. For walkies, you can only have one thing transmitting at a time. So I guess you want to communicate as quickly and as effectively as possible.
Yeah.
I had a guess that was something to do with like the radios not picking up a certain frequency when saying things, but I don't think that's correct. I think it's just like as fast as possible.
I think also like clarity because those walkies they are not very famous for being like super clear all the time. Sure. So, you probably want to say it in a very concise way.
Yeah. First up, we got 10-4.
10-4.
Yeah.
I'd use the bathroom.
Nope.
Really?
You don't know what 10-4 is?
No, I never heard of that.
I can't tell if you're fucking with me or not.
10-4?
Yeah.
Where are you at?
No, it's like got it. Copy.
Oh, copy that. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think I've heard that.
Yeah, like this is like the famous one. Okay,
like police lingo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, people, it's like, hey, I'm coming up to this address.
Okay.
And it's like 10-4.
Yeah, 10-4, copy that.
Like, yeah, I got it. And then these next two are 10-1 and 10-2. 10-1 is I'm going to the bathroom and I'm not doing it for that long, and you can kind of guess what 10-2 is.
Oh, shitting.
Yeah.
Shitting your pants.
Yeah, I have it written down. 10-1 is gotta piss, 10-2 is gotta shit.
Interesting.
So it's like, hey, I'm at a 10-1. Just like saying like, hey, I'm going to be gone for a little bit, FYI. And the 10-2 is, hey, I'm going to be gone for a lot of it.
Interesting.
And then, yeah, this one I actually didn't know until I started researching this. It's 86, which is shorthand for no longer needed. So if I would say to someone like, hey, that C-stand is 86, they'd be like, hey, get that C-stand out of here. We don't need it anymore.
Get it out of here.
Yeah.
Banish it from my sight.
Yeah, get it out of here. Next up.
Speeding.
Speeding. What is speeding?
Speeding is very simple. It means I am rolling, basically. Or I'm recording. And that can go for audio, video, anything that records on a set. You want to say speeding.
Yeah, you'll hear speeding or camera speed or audio
speeds.
Yeah. It's rolling.
Yeah, exactly. Just recording.
Yeah.
Very simple.
Next up, blocking.
Blocking.
What is blocking?
Oh, I'm being quizzed on blocking.
Yeah.
Well, blocking.
I'll quiz you on blocking.
Okay, blocking is the basically it's like where the actors are in relation to each other and to the camera, I believe. And it can also sometimes mean like some stuff with like crew, like some production design stuff. Like, okay, they got to move some stuff around, so we got to work on the blocking. Basically, just like almost like a routine kind of like moving around of people, and you like coordinate that and you schedule that and you kind of like rehearse that. Yeah. So more or less just moving people around. Yeah,
the most common use of blocking is with actors within scenes. It doesn't even have to be moving around. It could just be where they're stationed within the set, within the frame.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I'm going to block them to be here and here in relation to each other.
Yeah.
So let's get the camera. Yeah.
It's also a big part of like what a DP and a director do. They want to work on the blocking of the scene.
Next up, we got neg. And neg is just short for negative fill or black fabric. I guess that's a whole different video, different topic entirely. But you use oftentimes on film sets black fabric to take light away from a subject or block light. So if you think of normal white bounce fabric as sort of like a mirror, in theory, neg is like sucking the light away, but I like to think of it as reflecting shadows.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing, but if someone asks for a neg, normally they're asking for like a piece of black cloth or a 4x black frame.
Yeah. And if you have like a scene where you need like one character's side of his face like, lit up and the other one like you want shadow, you kind of want to put, it's pretty simple, like light and then negative fill. Yeah. Pretty much. Like very simply. There's a lot of stuff going into that, but it's all part of the DP's mastermind.
Yeah, and then it can also be used to like block light. If there's like
that's true.
A certain like if you're just using a point source light and you're just shining that onto something and you don't want it on like the top side of the frame, you could neg off the top right.
Yeah.
Just block the light from that area.
Indeed.
All right, next up, do you know what a floppy is?
I don't.
A floppy is I put this after neg for a reason. A floppy is a specific type of neg. A lot of the times it's a neg that it's a 2-layered neg that normally is a 4x4 that folds into itself, but could also be unfolded to make a 4x8.
Interesting.
So a floppy, I will either put an image on screen or you can look it up. A floppy is just a specific type of neg that refers specifically to a 4x8 or a 4x4 neg.
Very interesting. I was assuming that it had some kind of almost sexual or perverted meaning. The floppy. Can I get the set floppy?
The set floppy.
God.
Yeah, it folds down and it like flops.
Okay.
If you look it up, you'll see. I can show you after the show or something. It's a specific type of negative fill.
Very interesting.
Specific fabric that they use for it.
Indeed.
All right. Next up, this bricks. And more specifically, hot bricks and cold bricks.
Bricks. I think we did discuss this. I don't know if it means for all batteries, but I believe it's particularly for walkie batteries, right?
It's all.
All batteries, yeah. So it's just a way of referring to batteries. So hot brick is going to be a brick that's full or And then a cold brick is this one that's dead. Yeah.
Hot bricks, battery that's fully charged. Cold bricks, battery that's dead.
Yeah.
Pretty easy.
Pretty explanatory.
All right. Dummy slate and smart slate. So first, what is a slate?
A slate, that's going to be, it's also called the clapperboard, but on set usually call it a slate. But it is going to be a thing that is used to sync audio. So if you're on a smaller film set or like doing a YouTube video and you got to sync audio, you just usually just do like a little sync clap. But for more professional sets or sets that you want to like make it easier on the editor, you have basically a slate. The slate's going to have the shot number as well as which take it is. And then you're going to basically, announce the scene. You're going to have the person, which is usually the second AC, and then second assistant camera. And they're going to, call out the stuff. They're going to say marker, and then they're going to clap it. And then that's when you're going to, the editor is going to look through all the thumbnails. They're going to see what information is on that slate. They're going to figure out which clip they need. And then they're going to take that loud clap of the waveform and the video, and they're going to find the actual audio they got for that, and they're going to sync that up. So long form way of saying it's used to sync audio in post, and it's very helpful.
Yeah, and it's not only used to sync audio in post, but it's also used to identify shots.
Yeah.
So when you make a shot list, this will be a whole other video entirely, but basically you label each shot from the scene that you're shooting and then the shot. So like the first shot of scene 1 is shot 1, and then the second one of scene 1 is shot 1A, shot 1B, shot 1C, etc. And so it's not only used to sync audio and post, it's also used for that. It's also used, it should be the first frame of any video file so that the editor, if there's a separate editor from someone who wasn't on set or who's not the director or whatever, can look through and be like, okay, this is shot 1D on the shot list, and it will correlate to the first frame of that actual clip.
Yeah. And then you also tend to want to have someone writing down what takes you actually like on set, because sometimes maybe like the third out of fourth take was the best one. So then the editor can be like, okay, this one says take 3 or whatever, so they know which one to use. So that's what a dummy slate is. But why is it dummy? Well, because there's a thing called a smart slate. It's a bit more expensive. Although it's like $1 more expensive.
Let me actually math it. It's like 40 times more expensive.
It's like 40 times more expensive, but it's very cool because it has lights on it. That's all the difference is.
Yeah, that's it.
Just some lights. No, so the smart slate's going to have time code integrated into it, and basically time code. What is time code? Something that we don't have.
Yeah, time code is internal metadata that is jammed into both the camera and whatever the audio recorder is. So it starts at like 0, and then you start it for the day, and then it's essentially always counting up in, I think like, it's counting up by frames.
Yes, I think so.
So a frame at a time. So it's basically metadata within the video and the audio clip that you can sync up.
Yeah.
And
I believe a smart slate is like kind of like starts and stops it or marks it somehow.
I honestly don't know.
It does something like that, so that when you are in the edit, I think all you have to do is I think it's all already done for you, I believe, or it just makes it like a click of a button. I'm not exactly sure.
So
we never used a smart slate, so we're not really aware.
Yeah, I know for a fact you don't need a smart slate to do time code.
Yeah.
Well, that probably isn't the best because we don't actually know what it does. But I know if you embed time code into a video and an audio, most NLEs will just sync them for you regardless.
Yeah.
A smart slate probably does something.
Yeah, it does something that helps you.
Probably.
Yeah, basically it uses time code. So if you want to sound cool, just say yes, a smart slate uses time code, and you're right, it does.
Yeah. Next up, we got. Sorry, I was not prepared. Dummy slate, above the line and below the line. Yeah. Do you know what this is? I mean, there's a little definition.
It does say a little bit. Yeah. What is above the line and below the line?
So above the line and below the line refers to categories of jobs on a production. So above the line refers to, I guess, the definitionally it's like key creatives.
Okay.
So a director is above the line, a writer is above the line, the producer above the line, the actors are above the line.
Okay.
Below the line is everyone else.
Okay.
So the DPs are below the line. The G&E team, grip and electric team is below the line.
Yeah. Okay.
All the production design people are below the line. The craft services people are below the line.
Yeah, like any PAs and everyone like that.
Yeah, it's essentially described as like the most commonly like the biggest use case for this is oftentimes when you're doing contract negotiations. If you are incorporating residuals into the contract of the film, more often than not, residuals will only go to above the line people. So it's essentially like the below the line is technical people who are doing it like as a job, and above the line people are people who are creatively invested into the project. Obviously, those aren't mutually exclusive.
Right.
I was actually most surprised to hear the fact that the DP is below the line.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess like cinematography at its core is mostly a technical art.
Right.
Which might be swinging one way or another in this day and age, but at its core, yeah, cinematography is essentially about camera position and lighting. While there is an artistic flair to it, it's a lot of technical work.
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of had to I think a lot of good DPs already have a lot of experience with all those like electrical kind of things going on. So
yeah,
it is pretty technical. I think that's I feel like it's a little. I think you can I think each DP is a little bit more creative or technical depending on the DP.
Sure.
Like some DPs are probably don't know too much. Like they obviously know, but they are probably more creative oriented than like technical. So
yeah, and this probably comes from a time where using a camera is actually a very technical thing. Mm-hmm. Like back when you were using film cameras, you needed to know a lot of technical know-how to know how to operate those film cameras.
That's true. And also like editing. I believe editing was for a very long time considered to be like more of a technical thing and like a thing, like an afterthought before it became like this big kind of thing. So I know like in early Hollywood, it was like pretty much custom for like women to do most of the editing because they were like, oh, this is like a stupid job. This is like
really?
Yeah, they're like, oh, this is like not a man's job because I mean back then it was linear editing. You know, it's like just like you have like a tape and you watch through it and then you cut and then you like act like physically are cutting it, which is also where that term comes from too. Like you're physically cutting tapes together and splicing them together. And so they kind of viewed that as a more like laborious thing. And then I think around like the 50s, maybe 60s, they're like, oh wait, there's actually like creativity here. So they like kicked out the women, and then it's like kind of fucked. But you know, I think that's more or less like the history of editing. If you're interested, it's a little bit,
fucked.
It's a little sinister.
Oh wait, we can do fun things with this. Get the women out of here.
Yeah, it's like this fucking sucks. Let's like put people here we don't like, and then, oh wait, actually, no, sorry, you guys gotta go. This is actually this rocks.
God.
So, fun fact.
Right. Anyways, there's above the line, below the line. I think Anyways, next up, martini shots. I think we had a misconception about this for a long time, but do you know the definition of the martini shot?
Martini shot is the last shot.
Yes, the last shot of the day.
Of the day, so not chronologically. So like if you have like you know that shot of what's the last shot in Oppenheimer when he's like closes his eyes right at the end of like all the montage. Yeah, I think it's like him. He kind of goes like, I think it's like that. So that would not be the martini shot though. That unless it might be. It could have been. But if that was the first shot of the day, for example.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the martini shot's the last shot of the day.
It was last scheduled one for the day.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then so the next step.
Next one is the Abby Singer shot.
Oh, sure, we'll do that.
What was the next one? Sorry.
Something else. Whatever. Sure, we'll do that. The Abby Singer shots. That would be the second to last shot of the day. I think Abby Singer, he was a really renowned AD, and he would always call it the second to last shot of the day in addition to the martini shot.
Interesting.
So the Abby Singer shot is named after AD Abby Singer, and the martini shot is named the martini shot because after that shot, they would all get martinis.
Okay.
Because they'd be done for the day.
That makes more sense because, like, I don't know, it's like getting martinis on the second to last shot. And then, because, like, then you're, like, all fucking hammered and you're trying to, like, do the actual last shot. I guess. I guess it makes sense. Just fucking, like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I guess prepare the martinis because we're about to be finished or something.
I guess so.
I don't know. It's weird.
It's cool. So I skipped one, actually. Sorry, guys.
You skipped 3.
I skipped 3 of them?
Yeah.
The next one was Hollywooding.
Yeah. Do you know what Hollywooding is?
I believe that's when you just... like, fuck, it's kind of like raw dogging in a way, where you're just like, fuck it, I'm gonna hold the lights, I'm gonna hold everything without stands, right?
Yeah. Hollywooding is holding a fixture or holding a lighting tool.
It's like using yourself as the stand.
Yeah. A lot of this one's like, this one is like, you should really know before going on a set, because this one asks, hey, can we Hollywood this?
Yeah.
That means, like, most commonly, it's for moving or gimbal shots where you want some sort of consistent light.
Right.
So if someone's running outside and the camera's following them, you want someone to run with them and hold the reflector. You could do this like a tube light too if you need to, or just a lightweight fixture. You can hold it and run with them.
Interesting. Would that count for audio or just probably not?
I think audio is like, no.
Because like usually it is Hollywooded.
Audio is like damn near exclusively
Hollywooded, yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, because I guess these terms are like useless if it's the default, right?
That's true. There's no reason why you should like, separately call that out if it's like if that's the way you do it.
Yeah, because like a lot of the times audio is just like put on a stand for like interviews or stuff.
Yeah. Well, like right now we're not Hollywooding it. But
yeah. No.
Usually, if we were doing a scene, we'd have someone holding a boom pole, and just having it fixed on someone. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, next up, mayonnaise commercial.
Mayo commercial.
Do you know what this is?
Yeah, we talked about this before we did our shoot on Saturday. Yeah, mayonnaise commercial, just a little inside joke, like, oh, what are you guys doing, right?
Yeah. It's basically if you're filming somewhere and someone comes up to you and asks what you're doing, the easiest way to get them to fuck off and not ask any further questions is, we're filming a mayonnaise commercial.
Right.
Because if someone said that to me, I'd be like, oh, okay. Bye.
I would be like, oh, okay. Like, why? Because like I feel like if that is the inside joke, like imagine you're like in the middle of like a fucking like forest or something, and you're like oh, like you're like hiking, you see a fucking big ass film set, you're like, oh, what are you guys doing? Mayonnaise commercial. Like, oh, cool. I want to know more. Like why out here? I think I would be kind of interested there, but I don't know.
That's about it.
That's kind of cool. So it's kind of like almost like I think we also talked about this. It's kind of like a music. Those like inside music jokes, like I'm playing like Wonderwall, or like like those kind of like Freebird kind of things. So just little inside joke for the crew.
It's like an inside joke in the film industry. You want to go?
Yeah, I can do it.
Next one.
The next one is going to be a hot set.
Yeah. So a hot set is a set that you are moving away from, that you're not using for the time being, but nothing should be touched on it. So, for example, if you're going away from this set over into like, if you're in like a studio or something like that, it's like you set this up, you go shoot something else in a different location on the soundstage. You say, hey, that's a hot set. So don't start tearing down any props. Don't start moving anything in it. Keep all the fixtures up because it's a set that we're going to return to.
Interesting.
Yeah, I would imagine that's probably used in like on-location stuff, but it's probably way more commonly heard on a soundstage or a studio.
Or like a TV set. Because I remember going to like Universal as a kid, and there was we walked through some like set. And they actually they told us like, hey, like I don't know if they said hot set, I don't remember, but they probably did. But they're like, hey, like we actually film here, like we film here like every other like weekend or whatever. So like just you don't touch any of the stuff on the walls because they had like paintings and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'd imagine that would be a hot set because you don't want, if you move that painting, it's gonna get fucked because they're probably filming, like they're probably actively filming something, you know.
Yeah.
And they're just like gonna come back to it. So
destroying continuity on that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'd imagine a lot of sitcoms probably have hot sets because they probably set everything up for like however many weeks they're going to shoot there and then shoot all the whole season or whatever. So very interesting.
Yeah. Next up we have, do you know what if I say, hey, can you grab a Gary Coleman?
Well, yes. A Gary Coleman is going to be a small, there's a certain amount of height it has to be, I think, to be considered a Gary Coleman, but
I don't think so.
Maybe not. But a C-stand, essentially, everyone, very, very typical standard stand on a film set, but a Gary Coleman is a small version. Very, very not nicely named, I would say.
Not chill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a set that I went on, like a big commercial set, the people there didn't even know what a Gary Coleman was.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think people have moved away from using that, and now they just use like baby C-stand or a smaller C-stand.
That's more wholesome, I guess.
Yeah, I think baby C-stand makes it, because I know a normal C-stand rises to like, I think the standard is like 10 3/4 feet. Okay. At its height. And I think Gary Coleman's cap out at like 5.5 to 6 feet.
Still taller than.
I mean, yeah.
Still not that short.
Yeah. Most oftenly it's used to hold like client monitors or something like that, or like, I guess like a dolly, like a Dana dolly or something.
Yeah. Do you own any Gary Colemans?
No.
These are all.
These are all Shaquille O'Neals.
Shaquille O'Neals. Just average.
I don't know who's tall. James Harden's.
Someone.
These are all NBA players.
Yeah. These are like, because there's also there's another. I think we talked about this too. I don't know what the actual word is, but I think there's also one for like super big C-stands too.
Yeah. So, kind of.
Yeah.
So, for a C-stand, the defining characteristic of a C-stand, you'll see this on the video, is the input of it is like this, and the lights are like this. Mm-hmm. But
very suspect.
Yeah.
Gesture you're doing.
So like the C-stand ends with a peg, and you put the fixtures have a hole that you put onto the peg. If you need something bigger than a C-stand, you'll get a combo stand, which the top of the combo stand is a hole, and you use like the lights have pegs on the bottom instead of the holes, so it's just more secure because they're meant to hold more weight.
Interesting.
Hey, Editor Owen here. The actual naming convention of the combo stand isn't because it has the hole on the top as opposed to the peg, but because it has both. The C-stands only have the peg at the top, but the combo stands have a combo or combination of the two mounting options. So they have a hole at the top for the heavier fixtures, and they also have a peg that slides up so you can mount either a heavier fixture or a lighter fixture onto them. Editor Owen out. Because I think like the C-stands, like the 10 3/4 ones, are like the tallest that you'd want to go with the C-stand. because of just how the weight is distributed and how secure it is. The tallest stand that I'm aware of, there's most definitely taller ones, but the tallest stand that I'm aware of without going to like a crane is called a Mambo combo stand.
It's a great name.
And that one can ascend to up to, I believe, 24 feet in height.
Mm.
Yeah, and also another difference is like when you go to combo stands, instead of like the 3-prong like C's that they have, like the C stands, like the 3 different levels of rise. The combos are just like a traditional light stand with just like I don't know how to
like normal legs.
Yeah, but it's like more spread out, so it's more secure.
Interesting. I think that puts us to one of our last ones.
Yes, we are at the last one. This is in regards to Apple Box positions.
Bring it up.
Here it is, my boy. So there are 3 different ways you can position an Apple Box in the LA, a Chicago, and a New York position. So the LA position is when the Apple Box is sitting flat like this, at its lowest possible height.
Interesting.
The Chicago position is when you put it on its side and it's a little bit taller. And then the New York position, it's when it's the tallest.
Like a skyscraper.
Yeah. I actually have no idea why they're named the way they are. And I thought there was a completely irrelevant, like, tidbit that's just like, hey, do you know the positions? Like a trivia type thing. But I was watching like a BTS video of it. Wasn't actually like, it wasn't even a proper film. It was like a YouTube sketch.
Oh, really?
And there was like a BTS of it. And the people were talking about like, hey, look, this is the Chicago position. I'm like, the fuck? Like people actually talk like this and people actually use. I had no idea that was a thing.
That's interesting.
I'm gonna do that. We're filming on Saturday with people, and one of the people, Aaron. I'm gonna be like, hey, Aaron, can you grab an Apple Box and put it into the New York position?
Yeah, I mean that's why film jargon exists though, is to like just sound like you're cooler than you actually are.
Yeah, I mean, this one probably.
Some of them are useful, but a lot of them are like, what the fuck?
Yeah, most of them are like shorthand for things that you can communicate more efficiently. I'm totally doing that to Aaron, by the way.
Oh yeah, no, it's a great way to like welcome new people on your set.
Welcome to the set, asshole.
Yeah,
put those in a New York position for me.
Ruin his day.
Yeah.
We'll have a bonus one.
Ooh, bonus one. What's the bonus one?
Do you know what a C47 is?
No.
It's a clothespin.
Why?
I actually don't know. I think it has to do with the Sears catalog. I think on a Sears catalog it was like C47. Like the label number was like C47 or something, or 47. I don't know if that's true, but that's.
Is that like actually used?
Clothespins?
No, like like the term.
I think so. Because I remember watching a film jargon video like a couple months ago, and I think I saw like a few, and I think a C47 was on like a few of the videos. So maybe it's not used. Maybe I'm just making that up, but it is a. That's a term apparently. Because
that's straight up less efficient to say than clothespin.
Yeah, C47. It sounds cool though. Like I guess C. It sounds like a light, some kind of light, you know.
Hey, grab me a big ass C47, man.
Yeah. Because I guess like there's plenty of times where you probably use a C47, you know.
Yeah.
But there's also a C74. It's when you take a clothespin, you know how it's like 2 pieces of wood and it has like that metal spring. Well, you know how you can like take them apart and you can like flip them and it's like inverted and it looks like a needle nose kind of thing. That's a C74 because it's like the inverted. So instead of a 4-7, it's a 7-4.
Wouldn't that be 74C?
It should be, but they call it a C74. So
fucks.
Anyway, that's a bonus fact.
Those are the film jargon terms we have today. We had about 30 of them. I think it's like 28, but then there's like the sub ones with the walkie-talkie. There's like above the below the line. So we had about 30 film terms. Let us know down below how many of these you knew, how many you were stumped on, how much you learned today. And if we missed any commonly used film terms, let us know in the comments down below as well. My name is Owen Carr. You can find me on Instagram at OwenCarrDP. Jake, where can they find you?
They can find me at Jake Ross Bell on Instagram. And just make sure that you follow us if you want to DM us hate comments or whatever.
Hell yeah, do that. If you enjoyed this episode of IndieFilm Insider, be sure to do all the YouTube bullshit, like, comment, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. Be sure to check out this episode with Ryan Thomas, the DP of a film called I Really Love My Husband that just premiered at South by Southwest. So check that episode out.
Yeah, thank you for watching.